You're watching Meditations from Inside. Once again, here's Chaplain Kelly.
Welcome to Meditations from Inside on Channel 60. I'm glad that you have chosen to be with me here today. For those of you taking this course for credit, just know that the questions follow along with the teaching. So I will teach something and there'll be a question, and then I'll teach some more and there'll be a question. So it goes in that order, just in case you've been having trouble answering the questions. So over the past few sessions, we've been working with mindful breathing. We've been learning how to pay attention to the feeling of the breath in a relaxed way. Noticing the sensations in the body when we breathe in and when we breathe out. Today we're going to add another layer to that. We're also going to learn to work with our wandering mind. You may have noticed that when you try to pay attention to the breath, the mind very quickly starts to wander away. This is normal. The mind will naturally go into the past, thinking about regrets or things that we've done or things that other people have done. Or the mind might go into the future and start thinking about all the things that we still have to do, like make phone calls or eat. Like I said, this type of behavior, this type of thinking is normal. The mind just does this. It just wanders or wants to wander all over the place. It's very important to know that when your mind wanders, when you're trying to meditate, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. I just want to say that again. It's very important to know that when your mind wanders, when you're trying to meditate, it doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong. Again, this is just what the mind does. It's what the mind was made to do. It was made to wander and to think. So in mindfulness meditation, we just want to notice when our mind wanders, and then we want to gently bring our attention back to the breath. This is how we practice mindful breathing. We focus on the sensations of the breath in the body, and eventually we notice that the mind starts to wander off. And when the mind wanders off, it's just our job to notice it. Whenever we realize, oh, I'm lost in thought, we simply bring our attention back to the breath. I want to stress that how we bring our attention back to the breath is very important. We want to come back to the breath with patience and with kindness rather than with self-criticism or self-doubt. So we don't want to criticize ourselves at all or tell ourselves that we're just a bad meditator when we notice that our mind has wandered away from our breath. Again, we want to come back to the breath with patience and with kindness rather than with self-criticism or self-doubt. You know, this is something that I really wish that I had known when I first started meditating. This would have saved me years of beating myself up and feeling like I was just no good at meditation. So meditation is not just about being with the breath, though we do that a lot in meditation. Meditation is also about how we're relating to our experience. Again, we really want to relate to everything with patience and kindness rather than with judgment and self-criticism. So in our guided meditation today, we're going to learn how to come back with patience rather than noticing that we're lost in thought and then beating ourselves up for it. So let's try this now. All right, let's get into our comfortable position in our chair for meditation. Remember that you want your back to be straight, but then you want to relax to your shoulders. So our goal for our posture is to be both relaxed but alert. When you're ready, you can allow your eyes to close or partially close. Just spend a moment settling into your posture and your position. Again, we begin this meditation by turning our attention inward and just becoming aware of our breathing. Take a few deep breaths, breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly. Let's do this one more time. Breathing in gently and breathing out slowly. Now we're going to do a quick check with our body to see if there's any tension or tightness that you can soften or let go of. So just check the muscles in your face and the muscles around your eyes. Just check with your jaw and your neck and your shoulders. If you notice any tension or stress in these areas of your body, just imagine that they soften and become more relaxed. Once again, give yourself permission to be here without having to go anywhere else or accomplish anything. We're just trying to learn to rest in the present moment. Now we're going to set an intention to get to know our experience, to really observe what's going on without any judgment. When you're ready, you can bring your attention onto the feeling of the breath in the body. Try to just notice where you feel the breath most. Oftentimes we feel the breath most as the air enters and leaves our nose. We'll feel that slight sensation of the breath right at the tip of our nose. But perhaps the subtle expansion and contraction of the chest is more noticeable for you. Or maybe it's the rising and falling of your stomach. Just choose a place that's most obvious to you, wherever you can feel the breath most clearly. We're going to use this as our anchor spot, the spot that you can come back to when your mind wanders. So just turn your attention to that place and just begin to notice the sensation of the breath or how the breath feels. We're just trying to notice the raw texture of the breath. So just bring your mind down into your body and just noticing the movement of the breath and the sensation or the feeling of the breath. Let's just try and keep our mind anchored on our breath at that place for a while. As hard as you try to keep your mind anchored on that sensation of the breath, eventually you'll notice your mind has wandered off from the breath and you've gotten lost in your thoughts. When this happens, just acknowledge the wandering. Again, realize that this is totally normal. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong going on with your meditation. Again, just acknowledge that the mind has wandered, and then very gently, with patience, just bring your attention back to that feeling of the breath. Again, just reconnect with the physical sensations down in the body, and just watching the movement, just watching how the breath changes from moment to moment. So again, just try to keep your attention just focused on your breathing. Again, just notice when your mind has gotten lost in thought. When your mind has wandered away from focusing on the sensation of the breath. Again, just notice without judgment, without any self-criticism. Just notice that your mind has wandered away. When you notice that your mind has wandered away, just notice where your attention is right now. Notice if your attention is with thinking or getting lost in the past or the future. So often we go throughout our life just being lost in thought. In mindfulness meditation, we're actually training the mind to learn how to recognize when we're lost in thought. And then we can come back to the present moment, training our mind in the skill of coming back. So again, patiently bring your mind back to the sensation of the breath and your body. Just reconnect with this physical sensation that you feel. It doesn't matter if you've been lost in thought for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. Each time you come back to the breath in the same way, in a very gentle, patient way without any self-judgment. Let's just try to focus for a couple more minutes just on the sensation of our breath. To end this meditation, just breathe in deeply and then breathe out slowly. And when you're ready, in your own time, you can gently open up your eyes. Coming back into the room, getting back to your senses. Just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body and your mind. Notice anything positive that you're experiencing. So great work, everyone, learning how to recognize when your mind has wandered off and then bringing your attention back to your breath. Again, this is a practice, and the more we do it, the better we're going to get at it. So thank you again for joining me today for this teaching and meditation, and I wish you a very peaceful day. While I have you here, I'd just like your attention for another couple of moments, because I want to take this opportunity to share with you a couple of other programs that I offer that are available here at Fraser Regional Correctional Center. So I'm very fortunate to be involved in a couple of programs. One is the Storybook program, which is offered by the Elizabeth Fry Society, and also the Indigenous Storybook program, which is offered on behalf of the Indigenous Cultural Liaison. In these programs, you would come down to the chapel and I would record you reading a book, and then I would send the book and the voice recording, to your child. So you're able to do that once a month. So every month you could come down and do a voice recording of a book, and I would send it out to your child. So if this is something that you think you would be interested in, please send me a special request. And when I receive your special request, I will send you the application form. Just complete the application form with the child's information and their caregiver's information. And then once we have cleared that, then you will be free to come down, and I have lots of lovely books for you to choose from, both Indigenous and non-Indigenous. So I look forward to receiving your requests. Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed this program, why not attend a live meditation class with Chaplain Kelly? Submit your special request today.